And you know what? We had help when we came out of quarantine. People that we didn't even know off of Facebook gave us a place to stay for as long as we needed, for a week or two. And the kindness was quite overwhelming because
Wow.
it was amazing for strangers that you didn't know to come and fetch you out of quarantine, take you to their home and say, this is how the trains work. Let us show you how the bus works. This is where you go and apply for Centrelink. They took us to do our driver's licenses. You know what? It's a huge blessing for people to be that kind, and people are. I see it all the time.
I'm Dr. Chamonix Blanche, ex-corporate and academical, turned CEO and board member of several companies, and mother of 4 little extraordinary kids. But it wasn't that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the know-how, and the time to focus on designing and really going after the life that I so wanted to live. A life of freedom, of fairness, and of being fair dinkum to who I really was and what I wanted to get out of this fleeting time that we have on Mother Earth. Fast forward to many lessons learned and moving halfway around the world to the most amazing country, you'll see the life that I now live. One that gives me more safety and freedom than I ever thought would be possible, and that really only existed as a daydream while I was living in South Africa. I created Chamonix TV to give you true spot advice on how you can also live a life in this amazing country, and so that you can see how another couple like us now live in Australia with 4 little kids hearing down under. And I'll be providing you with step-by-step strategies so that you can make your Aussie dream a reality too. If you're a keen future Aussie who's looking to create a life that excites you and offers you safety, freedom, and opportunity, you have come to the right place, my friend. Welcome aboard.
Hi, Lieanne. Thank you so much for joining me from rainy, sunny, usually rainy now, or cold Sydney. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. And you are in lockdown and you are bunkered at home. You've got your coffee. What else are you guys doing during this massive, how long is your lockdown for? 2 weeks?
It's 2 weeks. So we're locked down for 2 weeks. So we're a few days in. And some time to go, but I think they're going to extend it. Cases are growing.
Okay. And if you say cases are growing, can you give us an idea of how many new cases a day do you have in Sydney at the moment?
I think the last check this morning was about 21 or 22. I could be a bit wrong, but it's about there. So I think it's sitting on just over 100 in total at the moment.
So that is more than obviously what we have in WA, but that is still such a big number away from what's happening in South Africa and many other places in the world. Are you happy that you're in Australia at this point in time?
I'm very happy that we're in Australia at this time. We did a lot of the lockdown last year in South Africa, so we've seen it firsthand. Being here is completely different. The thinking, the way it works, they've done really well here. I think everybody here needs to be grateful that the government has locked down so hard and so fast. So yeah, it's a big difference.
So tell us a little bit about when you came to Australia and how did that process start for you? What happened to be the first thing to get your minds moving to maybe we'll move to Australia one day?
We have been in Australia since the 1st of January 2021. We're really fresh off the boat. So today is actually the 6-month mark exactly that we have been here. It's been challenging moving during COVID, very. The catalyst for us was crime. A lot of crime. We had all been through a lot of crime, and our children were much older than most people that move. My daughter was already in high school. So a very big eye turner for us was entrance to university. We knew really wasn't going to happen. So that was our push. So we looked at where do we want to go? where do you start? And we started like that. So it took 2 years in total, almost to the day, to get the visa. And then obviously it took quite a few months to move because of COVID. So
okay, so 2 years to get the visa. So since the day you decided that's it, we're making a plan to get out of here, until you were granted the visa, is that right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys did the whole process yourself?
Yeah, everything from vet assess to skills assessment, language test, the whole lot. And here we are.
That is awesome. I love it, because I also did my own visa application. And as you say, most of the times you just hear, oh, you can only do it through an agent. An agent most of the time tell you, if you don't do it through an agent, you are doomed for having your visa not approved. So you are living proof that it is possible to do it yourself. So what's the category that you applied under?
So we applied under a SC 190. So it was territory granted. The problem is I think by the time we all, if I want to say, wake up and decide we want to go, for those that haven't gone when they're much younger, your age is pretty much against you. So you need to look, everybody wants the golden egg, which is the 189. Everybody wants that golden ticket. It's not possible for everybody. And our feeling was, let's just get into wherever we can get in and start a future, because anywhere in Australia has got to be better than the conditions that we were living in. So we applied like that for a C190, and that's what we're here on. So we are in New South Wales and we're in Sydney.
And what is the skill that you applied under?
So we applied under my skill, we applied under chef. COVID has not helped though, I will be honest. It's been difficult, you know, as everybody knows that hospitality's taken one of the biggest knocks throughout the whole world. But we were still lucky enough to get it. It's very much on the critical list now, actually.
Oh, they've now bumped it up. That's right. I had a question about the skills assessment part. Can you explain to us what was involved as a chef to have your skills assessment done through Vetasis, or who was your?
So Vetasis was my skills assessment body. What you do is you go online, you start filling in a form, you attach all of your qualifications, all of your work experiences. The one thing in South Africa that we do not give out a lot, or you don't receive at work especially, is letters detailing your job description.
Yep.
In Australia, those are needed everywhere, and we don't realize that. So that caused a holdup, because you then need to go back and
your employers,
go back to those companies and list it properly. So you send all of that paperwork through, they go through it, they decide which category you fall in as a chef. There's many of them, different, from a pastry chef to a commercial chef to many types.
Which one did you come through?
I'm on commercial.
So that means you were a chef in a big kitchen making food for a hotel or whatever it might be.
A hotel, a restaurant, anywhere that commercially sells food. And then from there, they book a skills assessment. So your skills assessment for commercial chef is a technical interview. It's a 2 to 3 hour online interview that you do, where they ask you a lot of different questions about your skill, all the processes, different types of foods. If you have worked in that environment, it's not hard to pass. They're not there to trick you. They were very nice. That's your skills assessment, and you actually receive a proper trade certificate when you pass, which is nice.
And so you came over to Australia in January.
Yeah.
Are you working at the moment?
I have been working part-time at the moment. I've just been doing some volunteering in that. Australian experience is a big thing here. So that's definitely my first thing to say to body, you know, everyone is try and get some Australian experience.
And so your husband is with you?
Yeah.
And is he working?
He is working. So he was quite fortunate to have found a job quite quickly when we moved over. He didn't come with a job lined up. And that allowed me to then take some time and step back and help the kids settle at school and find a routine. It's quite a stressful process, finding a house, finding a rental. Everything's new, figuring out how to use the bus. It's all new and exciting things.
What industry is your husband in?
He's in IT.
Okay, so IT is a great skill as well to come to Australia with, because they're also in shortage. But you found that your chances were going to be better to apply with your skill as a chef over his skill as an IT developer, assuming?
So he's not a developer, but he's a business analyst.
Mm-hmm.
We actually started the process on him. That was the initial advice we got, which was the wrong advice, because the points needed was so high. I think that ERI just expired eventually. So after quite a few months.
So you did put an expression in.
We did put it in. We went and saw somebody else, and they were like, no, like, don't do that. You have more of a chance. Also, the age, we were both close to 40 then, and then you lose a huge amount of points. Would be to do it on you, and that's what we did. And I got an invite within 7 days.
Oh my, wow, that's amazing. Okay, so your children, how old are they?
My children are 16 and 13.
And
well,
how
just
did they?
turned 14.
Teenagers. How did your teenagers do the move over? How have they settled in?
Oh, the beginning was very hard. I really will be honest. It's a big culture shock for them, especially going into high school.
And tell me about having settled in with COVID around, well, not around you, but like during the lockdown and the things. How was being in quarantine for you, and then finding your first rental? I know you mentioned it's tough.
It was hard. So quarantine in itself, we were lucky enough to be put in the Hilton. Lucky but unlucky. So we were on that flight that the first African got broadcast as COVID positive. We were part of that flight. So we were very lucky that none of us tested positive, but quarantine was hard. They put us in 2 small rooms, interleading, but no balcony, no fresh air, 14 days. We found that difficult, but we survived. It wasn't terrible. So anybody that thinks it's completely terrible, it's not. You know what? We all had timeouts in the bathroom for 30 minutes. The space is small. By day 10, you start having enough. You need the fresh air. The circulating air conditioner becomes far too much. Finding a rental, we applied to 42 homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have a specific place that you wanted to live in, or were you open?
We were open to wherever. So what I kind of went was, because school was so hard for us, I went, let's get into a school. Whatever school we managed to get into, we'll find somewhere around the school. Because we had applied to 3 or 4 schools. But
you wanted to be in Sydney?
We had to, yes, because it was easier. It's where all the jobs are. So we had to be in New South Wales. But especially during COVID, when you're looking for work, I think it makes sense to be somewhere around the city. We're not right in the city, which is quite nice. We are out of it. So that's why we kind of went, let's look for a school, and from a school we'll choose a home. But homes, you're talking about 30, 40 people at every inspection. We started applying even before we went to the inspection. And you know what? We had help when we came out of quarantine. People that we didn't even know off of Facebook gave us a place to stay for as long as we needed, for a week or 2. And the kindness was quite overwhelming, because it was amazing for strangers that you didn't know to come and fetch you out of quarantine, take you to their home and say, this is how the trains work. Let us show you how the bus works. This is where you go and apply for Centrelink. They took us to do our driver's licenses. I you know what, it's a huge blessing for people to be that kind, and people are. I see it all the time. So a rental, yes, we eventually came right, but it was hard, and now you just hang on to it with both hands.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It's been lovely to hear how you have. I just especially love the fact that you decided, bugger that, you're doing it yourself. You're like, and even after your husband's first expression of interest didn't reap the rewards you were after, you didn't stop and go, oh, but now I'm just gonna like, oh, poor me, I'm not gonna. No, you went back and you applied as a chef. And you did manage to get through, and pretty quick as well then afterwards. So, thanks for bringing that encouraging story to our viewers, because no doubt that there will be people in South Africa who would like to come, but might not have the cash to be able to pay an agent, or just need that little bit of, if she could do it, then surely I can try and do it myself as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on and for all of your time. And yes, I think everybody just wants the best for their future. So don't give up. That's all I can say.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lieanne. And we will chat again once you have got your settlement happening, like the Australian citizenship settlement happening. Yep, we can't wait to hear how you have become an Aussie with an Aussie accent.
Yes. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Take care. Goodbye.
You too. Bye.
All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you had fun, please remember to hit that subscribe button, and then it'll make sure that you never miss a thing. I'll see you same time and same place next week. Bye for now.